Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squared for boxing news and views from around the internet. The promoters and advisors to Tyson Fury have issued a joint statement in regards to Tyson Fury in his career. And this follows allegations that were made in recent days by a farmer, and this is through the Daily Mail, that he had lied on Tyson Fury's behalf in a PED case a number of years ago, saying, and this was on the record, that he provided Fury some wild boar which would have accounted for some metabolites of nandrolone in his system. He's now recanted and said he never provided that meat and that he was offered $25,000 to lie about the issue. So the statement from Top Rank, Queensbury Promotion and MTK Global. We'll get to that first and then a few thoughts, and then I want to touch on Mauricio Sulaiman's statements. He's saying that this feels like a shakedown, and it certainly does, but the statement proper, it says, due to the publication of a number of misleading and misrepresentative statements and articles made by third parties relating to Tyson Fury, the following statement is made jointly by MTK Global, Top Rank and Queensbury Promotion. Tyson Fury is the globally recognized #1 heavyweight in the world and the current lineal WBC and Ring Magazine champion. Tyson is contracted to a third fight with former WBC world champion Deontay Wilder. Any statement made regarding negotiations, talks, venues, or any other bout should be disregarded. Top Rank, MTK Global and Queensbury Promotion have and will continue to work in close conjunction with each other to deliver Tyson Fury the best opportunities to enhance his career and earnings. They will require each party, as well as Tyson Fury himself, to continue to work together as a team to explore and negotiate any and all future possibilities. The collaboration has thus far seen Tyson Fury enter into one of the most lucrative contracts in boxing history, become a global phenomenon, and reclaim his rightful position atop the heavyweight division. Any updates regarding future fights will only be made through official channels, and we will continue to deliver boxing fans the biggest and best fights involving the Gypsy King. Many options have presented themselves in the Middle East for such bouts. Any meetings regarding the subject will be held in Dubai with all the necessary parties. So that concludes the statement. So it's a relatively sort of broad brush type of statement. And you might be thinking, well, where does the farmer stuff come into that? Because it was a little bit vague on what they're really sort of specifically talking about. But this is what some might call damage control, and this, you could see this is drawing a line under some of the recent sort of things that have been said. They are trying to keep people focused on Tyson Fury's career, because when you actually have a bit of a search around in terms of some of the stuff that they were referring to further down in the statement, it's not a whole lot of people talking about the next fight not happening with Deontay Wilder, or not a whole lot of speculation about where that fight might be. It seems to me that some of what's happened in recent days has given some of the wrong publicity for Tyson Fury, where obviously after his recent win, a great win for the heavyweight division, that's the sort of publicity they would prefer. So they're trying to bring this back to Tyson Fury's specific career, and remembering that PED case was a number of years ago. And I know some people, and I've seen this in different comment sections, including my own from this farmer-related story, some people say, that happened ages ago, people have to move on. But the thing is, it's actually two different issues, because the guy coming out now, which is questionable, certainly it is, and I raised that, you have to question the timing, but him claiming to have been offered to be paid £25,000 to provide some evidence for Fury and Hughie Fury about, providing wild boar meat, that is a new news angle. That's not related to a former ban. So to say that this has all been dealt with, well, clearly this guy coming out now, it's new, it's different. But in regards to that, the WBC president, Mauricio Sulaiman, has come out and he sort of said, my first reaction is, what credibility could someone who allegedly received money to lie have now? This seems to be a shakedown. This matter happened many years ago. The WBC has to go by the multiple tests that Fury has performed in the clean boxing program, and all have been negative. Unless there is a formal case put forward, I don't see this matter other than fake news. We're proud of Fury as our WBC champion and how he has turned around his life. So that's Mauricio Suleiman talking to The Athletic's Lance Pugmire. And Frank Warren, he obviously confirmed that this farmer did contact him. This was in a statement he released on his website saying that the guy came to him last October and he asked for money. So when Suleiman says it sounds like a shakedown, well, clearly it was. But the farmer, he says he provided evidence all the way back when, was never paid. But some of what he was saying, and Frank Warren has rightly pointed this out, either he was a liar then or he's a liar now, and that potentially he's perjured himself by making official statements and lying about it. So his credibility to an extent is shot, but it's not to say that this couldn't have happened. But this is an issue that obviously cropping up now. It's not a good look, and hence the joint press release trying to sort of move it on. And I guess some of what the joint statement alludes to as well is future fights. And when they're talking about that sort of stuff, they could be alluding to Anthony Joshua, an undisputed fight. And obviously for something like that, they've already said Bob Arum and Frank Warren, talks for that will not be happening at this moment because Tyson Fury has to get through a third fight with Deontay Wilder. And there has been some speculation. I know that the likes of Eddie Hearn have sort of said, will that fight go ahead? There's been a bit of fan discussion about should there be a third fight, but it is contracted, so it will go ahead. But in regards to the statement, was it really necessary? I'm not so sure, but they obviously felt that they had to try get out in front of some of this stuff and talk about his career more broadly, as opposed to people focusing in on one issue that happened years ago, but now there's a claim that something around it was a little bit suspect. But the farmer, his credibility is obviously under question too. So we'll see if that goes anywhere. Probably it won't. But obviously the British media have sort of dug this up. How this has come about, and now that's a big question. Obviously someone is trying to potentially discredit Tyson Fury, but his handlers, promoters, MTK, Top Rank and Queensbury want to bring this back to the boxing, trying to sort of, move it forward as well, if he wins his next fight, we'll be talking about these things in due course and come to us and listen to our channels for official statements on these matters. But what do you make of this? The statement in itself doesn't say a lot. It's a little bit thin on detail, but clearly trying to sort of draw a line under some of what's been said in recent days and move it on. Talk about his career as opposed to things in the rear view. Drop a comment, loud and often. Hit like, hit subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, boxing_squared. I'm out.